Yeah. Now what will be printed? 1, 2,
1, 2,
3.
3.
Okay. Okay. Now suppose there is one more inner function. Let us suppose. Suppose if we don't have this, let a equal to 1, 2, 3. Okay. And I am trying to print console.log of a. Now what will be printed?
Error.
Okay. Any other guess?
Undefined.
Okay. Any other guess?
Anusha.
Yes, it will print Anusha.
Anusha.
I will tell you why the reason is. That reason is because of the scope chain. Okay. So as I have told you, this is the global execution context. Okay. And as soon as any program starts running, the global execution context is created. And once call stack got created, correct? In this, we will have, what are the two phases in the global execution context?
Memory phase.
Yes, memory space and code of execution.
Code of execution.
Code of execution.
Yeah, and we can give it global execution context 1. Okay. And this G1, what it will be done, it will be pushed to the call stack. Correct, right? So
Yes.
what's happening? You have one local variable a here. Okay. And you have stored the value Anusha. Okay. Now what happened? Whenever this line number 12 got invoked, okay, one more global execution got created, okay, and memory phase and code of execution phase, and it got pushed to the call stack. Correct? Able to follow me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And inside is, does it have any variables or functions? Nothing. So nothing will be there in this memory execution phase null. And in the code of execution phase, it will just check console.log of a. Okay. And in the memory, it will check whether a value is there or not. It doesn't have. So apart from this memory, what it will contain the scope or the reference of the previous execution context. Okay. Understanding?
Yes.
So what it does, in this memory space, it will check. It will check whether a variable is there or not. It's not there. So it will go to global execution context 1. And it will now check it if it has a or not. For example, if it has, then it will print directly that value. Anusha. So in this way, even if we have inner functions, for example, now you can see in this way, even if how many global execution context got created or not, we will be able to access this value of a. This is because of scope chain. Got it?
Yes.
Now I will talk about another example. Okay. You can check inside ABCD. Now what we have nothing. Let a equal to 5. Okay, and we have one function and which is ABC, and in this let b equal to 20. Okay, console.log of b. Now what I'm trying to do, I am invoking ABC. Okay, and I am trying to do console.log of b. Okay, now tell me what will be the output here. What will
20.
be printed? Yeah,
20.
printed.
It's 20.
Yeah. Now at line number 12, what will be printed?
20.
Okay. Any other guess?
I think.
What?
No.
Yeah. Now I'll show you what will be printed. You are getting B is not defined. Meaning is that B is not present. Okay. I'll tell you why. I'll just clear this. Okay, now what happened? First one global execution context got created. Okay, and in these two phases are there. Now you quickly tell me what will happen here. Here one variable A will be there and it will be assigned with value 5. Correct?
5. Yes.
Yes. Now it's pushed to call
Global.
stack. Call stack, correct?
Yes.
Now what happened? As soon as this line number 10 is hit, one more global execution context got created. Okay. And this is the global execution context. And now what will be there here? B
B
and
is equals to
its
20.
value 20. And if you see here, the console log is there. So imagine this is the console and 20 will be printed here. Correct. Now what happened? This function, after encountering this return statement or ending of the flower brace, what will happen? What happens? I told you. What happens? Whenever the function is ended or the function returns, okay, if it contains any return keyword or if it contains any end brace, what is the meaning of that? The function got
Undefined.
ended, right? The
Yes.
function ended, correct. So whenever the function is ended, meaning is that this global execution got finished and it got popped out. Okay. Now what scope is there? Only global execution context 1 is there, right?
Yes.
It's
A is
no
equals to
longer available, correct. And
Yes.
at line number 12, you are trying to print console.log of B. And right now G2 is available or not?
Mm. Yes.
It's no longer available.
No.
No longer available. And you have
Yes.
only this G1. And in this
Yes.
G1, do you have a variable named B?
No.
No.
No. Then what will be printed?
Nothing.
Undefined.
Error will
Error.
be printed, stating
Error.
that
Yes.
B is not defined. Okay. Understood?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it clear? In case of outside
Yes.
variables, okay, you can access it. You can access it because of the scope chain, because it contains reference of the previous global execution context. In this sense, we are able to find out the previous global execution context memory variables. But in
Yes.
case of global execution got finished, right? It's popped out of the stack and it's no longer available. Okay. Those variables, we cannot access them outside of the scope. Okay. Now, what is the scope of B here? What is the scope of B here? What we can say? Okay, scope means the B is accessible only inside function ABC but not outside. So we can tell that the B is accessible only in this function but not outside. What is the scope of B? The function ABC is the scope. only in that particular scope we will be able to access. Now understood the concept?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Any doubts, anyone?
No.
Okay. Now we will talk about some of the string methods. Okay. In the previous classes, I have covered only at split, two uppercase, two lowercase, and all right. There will be also some more inbuilt functions available on the strings, and we will discuss regarding them today. Okay. And the first part comes slice function. Okay. Suppose we have one string, let a equal to okay. Now I want only some portion of the string, but not the complete portion. Okay. Then the slice is the method which is useful for this purpose. If you want to extract some part of the string. Okay. For example, let b equal to a dot. So on what we are slicing? So a string we want to slice, right? So you will take a dot slice. So slice takes two parameters, one parameters or no parameter. Okay. If you give no parameter, that means that you are not telling the slice function where to cut it. Okay. In that sense, it will print the entire string as it is. Sorry. So it will print the entire string as it is. Suppose if I say slice of 1, okay. So we generally know, right, strings or array, with what number it will start. So consider this as an character array, and with what number it starts?
0.
0. Okay. So what I am telling, you start cutting this string from one position. So what will be printed from M? It will print the rest of the code. Okay. Any doubts? Suppose if I give 2, from the space, it will start printing. Okay. For example, if I give 3,
I am.
okay. For example, if I start giving 4, you understood the difference between 4 and 5? It contains some space, okay? The space is also counted as a string, okay? Now, if I say I want to cut from character 1 to character 6, okay? Then it will take out only that particular portion of the string. Okay, suppose if you see, this is the one index. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Any doubts?
No.
Okay. So this is the usage of slice method. It's basically used for cutting off a string or slicing of a string. Okay. And it even contains some negative, it even takes negative values. Okay. Suppose if I tell -5, okay. Now just print it. So it will count from backward. From backward, how many letters were there? It will take it. Suppose if I say 8. Okay. So you can check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So from back 8 characters it will take. If I tell 9, so count 9 letters from the back. Suppose if I tell take -9 to -12. Okay. Now you can see.
Nothing.
Yeah. It should be a smaller number, sorry. So what happens? So it will come here 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. From 9, it will take 3 characters because the difference is 3, right? So it will take 3 characters and it will print this go. Suppose if I give fire, then it will print good. Suppose if I give -1. Okay. Understood? Any doubts? Okay. This is the usage of slice. We have also one more method called substring. Okay. The meaning, name meaning itself meaning is that take some part of the string, substring meaning. So it is also similar to slice, but the thing is that it does not take negative values. That's the only difference. For example, let ANS equal to okay. Now let me just do console.log of ANS dot substring. Okay. Of 3. Understood? It started from 0. 0, 1, 2, and 3 it spaces, right? Even if you give 4, it will be is good only. If you give 5, then yes, good. Suppose if you give 5 till 5 to 7, then S space will be printed. If you give 8, okay, S space G. Okay, it doesn't take negative values. Suppose if you try to give a negative value, okay, for example, -5, then it will give you, it will start thinking as 0 and it will print starting. It will print from starting. This -5 will be treated as 0 for it, and from starting, the entire string is printed. Any doubts?
No.
Okay. Now we have one more method. Okay. By the way, what are these -9 and -1 are called as? This is called as a starting index and this is called as an ending index. Okay. And what are, so since I'm calling it as a slice, and what are these called as? Parameters, right? Function
Yes.
parameters. Okay. Now we have substr. Okay. And we have this substr method. Let string equal to console.log of now I'll start printing. It is also used for cutting. If you give only one index, meaning is that cut the entire part. Okay. The second part meaning is that how much should be the length of the extracted part. Okay. Suppose if I tell 7, so from 7 characters it will extract. Okay. For example, E 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Some space might be there before. Okay. So it will totally take 7 characters. Suppose if I tell 4 characters, it will take only 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Any doubts till now? Here 4 specifies the length how much length of the string should be extracted? Any doubts, anyone till now?
Once you can you explain again, ma'am? Substring.
Okay. So substring also takes two parameters. Okay. So first thing, as you know, it's the starting index. Okay. If you give 3, from 3, it will start cutting the string. Okay. You understood till now, right? The next you will specify, in case of slice, it will be the end index, right? But here it meaning is that how much should be the length of extracted part. My output should contain only 4 letters. If you can see, 4 letters are only there, E, S, space and A. For example, let me combine. Okay. Now there will be only 4 letters. If I specify 5 letters will be there. How much length of the part you should extract? That's the meaning of this. 6. 7. 7 characters only will be there. Understood? Understood? Any doubts, anyone? Okay. So I'll tell you again, there will be 3 types of string methods which are used for cutting a string. Okay. One is slice, one is sub-str method, and one is substring method. Okay. Okay. This comes second. Okay. Okay. Sub-str slice. Here the slice function takes 2 parameters. One is the start index. Okay. Start index, and one is the end index. Okay. And if you do not specify end index, it will slice out all the part of the string from starting index. Okay, it even takes negative indexes, and for negative index it will start calculating from the end of the string. In case of sub-str, it also contains 2 parameters, which is start and end index. The only difference between slice and the substring is that it does not take any negative values. It doesn't take any negative values. If you give negative values, it will consider it as an 0 and the entire string is printed. And the third one is the sub-str method. It also takes 2 parameters. The first parameter is the starting index. Okay. And the second parameter is the length of extracted string. How much should be the length of the string that we are extracting? Okay. These are the differences between these methods. Anyone, any doubts? Okay. Let us go to one more method, replace. Okay. Now we have a string. Okay. Okay. Suppose if I want to replace Anusha with some other string. Okay. How can we do that? So these can be done with dot replace method. Okay. And it also takes 2 parameters. Okay, I'll just show you. Console.log of a dot replace. Okay. With what we want to replace? Anusha. Okay. You want to replace with example any name, Sweetie. Okay. Now you can see Sweetie from Guntur. Replace is just for replacing some strings with some another string. Any doubts?
No.
Okay. Now tell me. Now you see there were 2 Anushas, right, in the same string. Now
Yes.
anyone can guess what will be the output of this statement? What I'm telling, take the string A and replace Anusha with Sweetie. Okay. Now what
Okay.
will be the output?
Sweetie from
Sweetie from Guntur, Sweetie from Vijayawada.
Hmm. That is the wrong answer.
Only
Okay.
first will be
Yeah.
replaced.
Only the first string it encountered will replace. Okay. If you check
Okay.
Sweetie from Guntur, Anusha from Vijayawada. Okay. Suppose
Okay.
you want to replace it all the places. Okay. You need to
Yes,
specify
sir.
some regex for it. Regex meaning some pattern. Okay. And that pattern usually starts with slices. Slashes. This is the slash and this is the slash. And you need to give some specify G. G means globally replace everywhere. Understood? Any doubts?
No.
So the slashes here meaning is that we are giving some pattern. So wherever you encounter G in this string, G means globally in this string, replace with Anusha with Sweetie. That is the meaning. For example, if I give capitals, okay. Now if you check, this is case sensitive, okay. Whatever we have given will only be replaced.
Okay.
So if I want it to be like irrespective of the uppercase or lowercase, if I want it to get it replaced, then I can use something called I. Got it? So like this, you can mention how many. Suppose if you only mention I, now what will happen? What will be the output here?
Caps.
Okay. Now
Too
what
small
will
and
be the output here?
Only it will change the
first
words
one,
capital
Sweetie
letter.
from Guntur.
So what will happen? This A replace will first find this Anusha, okay, and
Yes.
it will convert it to, or it will think that irrespective of it's in lowercase or uppercase, I need to replace with Sweetie. Once one occurrence is found, and it will stop doing it, okay, and it will start printing Sweetie from Guntur, Anusha from Vijayawada. Suppose if I want to add one more, that G thing, then I can add the G here. Now it will think globally. Any doubts? No, right? Yeah.
No.
This is the one replace method. And one more is the trim method. Okay. Trim method is basically used for removing the spaces, okay, before and after the string. After the string, it will remove. For example, let string equal to, okay. Now what I will do, console.log of str.trim. Okay, I'm just applying this method. Now you can see in the output just Anusha is printed, right? Suppose
Yes.
if I don't trim it, okay.
Spaces.
Okay. Actually, it will print. I don't know why it's not printing. Okay. Just remember that trim method is basically for removing the spaces. Okay.
Okay.
Before and after. Suppose if if I give any space in between, does trim method trims the space?
Yes.
Does it? So these will be considered as an entire string. This Anusha will not be
Okay.
considered as a string, right? This entire
Yes.
thing will be considered as a string. And starting means this space, okay? Ending
Yes. Yes.
means this space will be removed.
Yes. Anusha space Anusha.
If I do the trim method, okay, it will just, I don't know why it's not working here. Let me just open in W3 schools and show you. Okay. Okay, you can see the difference here, right? So first one, hello world. They have given the text here. Okay. And in the result, if you are seeing text dot stream, you can see it's trimmed.
Yes.
So the starting and the ending space will be removed. Okay. Any doubts, anyone?
No.
Okay. This is one more method. And we have talked about the scope as well. Yeah. Now we will talk about if else, if else, if. Okay. Suppose let A equal to one array. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now I want in the console like if the one value is received. Okay. Then I want you to print one is printed. If the input is 2, then I want 2 is printed. Okay. If the value is 3, I want 3 is printed in the console.log. How can you do that? Imagine only I am passing 1. Okay. Now tell me, how can we do? With just normal if statement, tell me. Just a basic program, okay, which takes one input, which is A, okay. It should give me in the console log 1 is printed. Suppose if I pass 2 here, it should print 2 is printed. Suppose if I pass 3 here, 3 is printed. How can we write it?
If condition will take
Correct. Okay. What we can write? If A equal to 1,
equals to
then what you will do? Just console log.
console.log of
Console.log.
Huh. 1 is printed. Correct. Now
else
okay. Now we can even have one more if, okay. Suppose else means, okay, if I directly give else here,
single loop it is.
and if you give console.log, now only 2 is printed you can give, right? What about 3?
Yes.
If the
Then we
value
have
3 is there, you need to print 3, right? So for this
Yes.
purpose, what you can do, you can use else if as well.
if
Okay. Else if
if
A equal to 2,
two
then console.log of,
2 is printed.
yeah, yes, 2 is printed. Yes. Okay. Suppose in this else condition, now definitely the value
We can
will
write that
be, yeah, and you can print console.log of,
it's a nested loop.
3 is print.
3
Yeah,
is
this is
printed.
called nested if. Okay, suppose if you have 4 as well. Now you can specify the condition as A,
A equals to 3.
and in the else part you can give else console.log of 4 is printed. Okay, but these nested if statements are not recommended. Okay, if we have multiple values, instead we will use something called switch. Okay, I'll
Yes.
talk about switch as well. Let me talk about one more thing. Okay, now 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I want to talk about something called break. Okay, which is used for breaking the loop. Okay, it will just come out of the loop. Understood?
Yeah, particular condition. If it is okay, then loop will be broken.
Yes, correct. For example, there is a traditional for loop, okay, and we have var equal to 5 and var
I less than
equal to a
array.
dot length, okay, and I plus plus, okay. Now, if you just check what condition I will write, if a equal to a of
One.
I, okay, equal to 1, then what I will do? Just do a console dot log, okay. Uh,
One
a
is printed.
value is 1, okay, then break. Normally, how a for loop will execute? Normally, how the for loop will execute? First,
It
it will
iterates
assign
for value for
zero value,
Yes, and
then it
value.
will check this then what will happen? 0 is less than 4. Here the length is 4, right? 0 is less than 4 and the code in this for loop is executed. Then I value is incremented. I will be again changed to 1. Then 1 is less than 4. Then this entire thing got checked. Okay, then I value will be incremented to 2 again. Then 2 is less than 4 or not. All these things will
And then
happen, right? Since you
yes.
have given a break statement, okay, this loop will execute only one time, okay, and it will
Okay.
come out of the loop.
Okay.
You can just run and check. I value will be 0 only, so only 0 is printed and we have this console log. Suppose if the a value a of I equal to 2 I am giving, now how many times this loop will run?
2 times.
Two
Until
times.
2. Until 2.
Yes.
3. 3. Up to 3.
No, it will run 2 times. First
Two
for
times.
I
Zero and
equal to 0, then for I equal to
And
I
1.
equal to 1.
1.
Huh. Suppose if it is 3, then how many times this loop will
Three
run?
times.
3
3
times.
times, correct.
0, 1,
So
2.
this is the usage of break, okay. But
Okay.
these break statements doesn't work for each or map or filter, okay. Remember that. These break statements, they will not work in these functions which are available in the arrays. These are the array methods, right? For each map and filter, and they are also used for iteration, right? So these break
Yes.
statement will not work here. It's only work for traditional for loop. Any doubts till now?
No, ma'am.
Can you explain once again?
Yeah, this
Actually,
break,
I had lost my internet.
yeah. So this break statement is there, right? This break statements only works for traditional for loop, okay? It doesn't work for each map or filter, as they are also used for iterating the array.
Okay.
Okay. Now we will talk about the switch statement, okay? Suppose we have this array, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And now I want to print it like if 1 is passed, so it should be 1. If 1 is printed, 2 is printed, 3 is printed. But I don't want to use nested if loop. Okay. In this case, it's not a good practice to use such a nested if loops. It will be good only if you have 1, 2, 2, 3 values, but more than 4 or 5, it switch statement is the better choice. Okay. So for that, we will be using something called switch. Okay. And switch will take one input. Okay. What is that input? A's value. Okay. For example, A of 0. Let us imagine. So what will be the A of 0 value here?
1.
Yeah. In switch, we have some cases. Okay. We need to write. For example, case, 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 these are the conditions basically. Okay. For example, if case 0, that means the value here past is 0. Okay. Then do what? Console.log of
A
1
of 0.
printed. Okay. 1 is printed. Now next value, sorry, if it is case 1, because the first value is 1, right? Now if the input is 2, okay, then I want to print like console.log of
Console.log of
2 is
2
printed.
is printed.
Next, case 3, okay. Now console.log of 3 is printed. Okay. Now case 4. Console.log of 4 is printed. Now, can someone tell me what will be the output here?
One is printed.
1 is printed.
Okay. Did you check? So what happened? You need to give a break statement. Okay. Otherwise, all the console log statements, whatever were here, will keep on executing. Okay. Suppose if this condition is satisfied, just break out of this. Break out of this. Okay. Break out of this. And break out of this. Now you see, 1 is
Only
printed.
1 is printed. Okay.
Okay. Suppose I have value 5. Okay. And I am passing a dot length -1, which is the last value, right? Now, does it satisfy any of my condition here?
No.
No. So in this case, what we can do, we can use one value called default. Okay. Suppose you can give it like, if none of your condition matches, then defaultly print whatever you want. Any doubts, anyone?
No.
Suppose if you doesn't even specify this, what will happen?
Nothing will be printed.
Correct. Nothing will be printed. Suppose if this value is 2, now what will be printed?
Two is printed.
Printed.
No.
3 printed.
2, the value is 2. It will check,
Yes.
it's just comparison of values, but not the index. Okay. Just remember
Yes.
that. Now, for example, here I am giving the value 16. Okay. Now, how should I modify my case? So here 4 value I have modified with 16. Okay. Now, how should I modify my case? What I
Case
have
16.
told, yeah, case 16. So here what value you want to compare, those value you will give. Understood?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Suppose if it is Anusha. Suppose if it is Anusha. Okay. Now we will see. Now how should I write my case? Case for
Yes,
Anusha.
Anusha.
Case Anusha.
Yeah.
String.
Case Anusha.
Anusha.
Okay. In case of case Anusha, console.log of string value
String.
is printed. Now what should I do? I should give a break statement for everything, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Change.
Okay. Suppose if I forget to give this break statement, okay, after 16, and I have passed the 16 here. Now what will be my output?
16 Anusha.
Yes.
String
16 is
value.
printed, string value is printed. Both will be printed. Everyone understood this, right? Switch statement.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now we will talk about something interesting called set timeout and set interval. Okay. Bear with my syntax. Even I am not sure. So there are two things. Okay. One is set timeout. Okay. One is set interval. Okay. So what it does, this set timeout function takes some milliseconds, and after that timeout execute whatever you want. That is the meaning of it. So if we tell 2 seconds, okay, after 2 seconds execute this function, after 5 seconds execute this function, after 6 seconds execute this function, like that. Understood? Set interval means it also expects one function as well as some interval value. That interval, for every 1 second, call that function. For every 2 seconds, call that function. For every 5 seconds, call that function. Got it? Got the difference between these two, set timeout and set interval?
Explain again, ma'am.
Okay. Set timeout meaning, okay, I will just write it down. What is this? So set timeout takes two parameters. One is function or the callback function, okay? And one more is the time. Time in case of 1 second means you will specify it as 1000. So it is 1000 milliseconds equal to 1 second, like that. Okay. Now I will just do console.log of okay, I will just run it. Okay, 1 minute, syntax. Yeah. So what happened after 1 second, this function will get executed and this console log will be printed. Okay. I will just give 2. Okay. Now you can check. After 2 seconds, hello will be printed. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
After 3, you check. So it will tell after 3 seconds, execute this function. Understood?
Yes.
So set timeout is basically after for specific number of seconds, if you want to do anything, then in that situation, you will use set timeout. In this case, after 3 seconds, execute my function. Okay. What is set interval means? Interval means what is that? Periodic, right? For every second, print my statement, execute the function. Okay. For example, set interval. So what will happen now? For every 1 second, it will print high.
Okay. Yes.
Suppose if I give 2 seconds, understood?
Yes.
That is the difference between this set timeout and set interval. Can someone tell me quickly the definition?
Set timeout takes
Ex-
some milliseconds, and after timeout it executes the function. Set
So
interval for every second, print my
It executes
statement.
it.
It
what you
takes
can
an-
tell is set timeout. After the specified number of seconds, the function will get executed. But in case of set interval, for every specified
Yes, okay.
interval, the function will be executed.
Execute.
Okay, that's the difference. And yeah, any doubts, anyone? We will continue the next topic in the tomorrow's class.
Okay.
Now, I want to give you a coding question, okay? Uh, let sorry, let A equal to Anusha. Okay. Now, I want output to be like this. Can someone tell me what's the difference between these two?
First value is in caps.
Yeah. So I want the output to be like this.
Split and map.
Two uppercase.
Split and map now.
Okay. Just a 1 second. Huh?
Can we use replace for one single?
Sorry.
Replace.
Can we use replace for single letter?
We can use it, but it's not a correct way. So you mean to say console.log of what you will do a dot replace, right? Replace letter A with capital A. This you will do, you said, right? Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now in this case,
Replace both the letters A and N.
okay, but okay. Suppose instead of Anusha, it will be Sweetie. Okay. Now my output will be SWEETY. But the solution should be only one. Okay, you cannot again write like A dot replace of SW with SW like that. Understood? Got my point?
Yes, yes.
So here what we can use, just do this as a homework with slice. Okay, you can just try it as a with slice function. Okay, do it, and if I will tell in the tomorrow's class, just think today and we can do it in the tomorrow's class. Okay,
Okay.
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 you can just do like slice of these characters. Okay, like first two characters, you can specify the start index and the end index. Okay, here you can first what you can do, you can use slice. Okay, and you can specify the starting index and the ending index. For example, I am telling. Okay, and you can use something called two uppercase. Correct? Two
Yes.
uppercase for converting. Okay, then you need to again contain this, you need to store in one variable, for example str1. Okay, then you will create one more variable, suppose let str2. Okay, and again you need to slice the remaining portion. Suppose if these two are there, then you can slice out the remaining portion. Okay, and you can keep this as it is, And what you can do string concatenation. str1 plus str2. Got it? Anyone got any idea of how to do it? So in this case, what happens? Your solution will work for all the names, whatever we give.
Yes.
Okay. In case of this solution, it only works for this string. That's it. So you will do it as a homework and will come back, right? Just
Okay.
try it out. We will discuss again in the tomorrow's class. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.